Welcome back to the Modern Catholic Life podcast. I'm your host, Dallas, and today I want to talk about planning your life, because a planned life is a purposeful life, and every life has purpose. And I know I mentioned before that what I teach is a college readiness program. We focus on teamwork, communication, critical thinking, planning, organizing, goal setting. And so while yes, it is a college readiness program, I believe really that it goes way beyond college. These are things that we should carry with us for our life. When you look at goal setting, if you go through each day with a goal, something to accomplish, then that's good. You've done something good. If you don't go through each day with something to accomplish or something that you're aiming for, then what are you really doing? I also mentioned that I coach basketball. And if you could imagine for a moment a basketball game with no baskets, the teams have nothing to shoot at, nothing to aim for. You would never know who's scoring. You would never know what the score is. I don't know if anyone would ever really be able to score if there's no basket. And what you would have are people aimlessly running up and down a court with a ball, and that's really about it. It's just them aimlessly running up and down the court. That same principle applies in life. Without goals, without something to aim at, without something to shoot towards, you never know if you're accomplishing anything. You never know if you're scoring. You never know if you are getting done what you should be getting done. You just end up aimlessly floating through life like the basketball players who aimlessly run up and down the court without a basket to shoot at. And you might ask, well, what does this have to do with God at all? Well, if you're alive, then God has a purpose for you. Again, if you are living, then there is a purpose that God has for you. There's something that He wants you to do. And if we're going to achieve whatever God wants us to do, which does look different for everyone, then we have to plan. We have to goal set. We have to have something to shoot for. We have to have something to aim at. Otherwise, we'll never know if we're pleasing God. We'll never know if we're accomplishing what God has for us. And why is that important? Well, because what God wants for us is fulfillment and joy and love. Now, if you spend parts of your days or parts of your weeks planning, having a to-do list. One of the things on my Christmas list was a planner for the upcoming year, 2022. And I fully intend on using it as much as possible. Really every day, because if you have a to-do list, if you have an agenda, then at the end of the day or at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you can reflect and see what you've accomplished on that agenda. You can see what you failed to accomplish. You can see what is still a work in progress. You can also take a look at and reflect on things that you could do better so that you can achieve your goal, so that you can accomplish what God has for you. And there are two saint quotes that I want to paraphrase here. One is, if a man goes to sleep each night and he's not exhausted, then he hasn't done God's will for the day. And another is this: idleness or boredom is really where sin takes place. When we have goals, when we have a to-do list, when we have things to accomplish, things that our eyes and our mind and our will are set on, that keeps us busy. It keeps us from falling into boredom. And usually, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that when you get bored, you probably start getting into things that you shouldn't get into. And if you've gone through your day without intent, without purposefully doing things, then sure, by the end of the day, you're not going to be exhausted because you kind of just floated through your day. You maybe took care of whatever came your way that day, and there's something to be said for that, sure. But without real purpose, without an ultimate objective at the end of the day, then you're not fulfilling God's will, God's plan for you. And again, it's not that God wants you to be exhausted because He's punishing you. He wants you to be exhausted because you are giving out all of yourself for the betterment of others. And if you could just imagine a world for a moment where everyone did that for each other, how beautiful of a world it would be. So I challenge you this upcoming year to plan your life, and I'm going to join you on that journey, to really plan your life. What do you want to accomplish by the end of 2022? Maybe it is learning a new language. Maybe it's losing weight. Maybe it's, whatever's personal to you, whatever it is. Set your mind to it. Be very focused, be disciplined, but set clear and specific goals. And then every morning when you wake up, write your to-do list. And throughout your day, as you accomplish those things on your agenda, cross them off. Make little notes next to it. Look, I said that this is something that I teach, and there's so many different planners, so many different agendas out there. If writing in your notes on your phone works for you, do that. If setting reminders on your phone works for you, do that. There's digital calendars. So if you want to use, Outlook or Google Calendar, use those things. I've tried all of those, plus, wall calendars, desk calendars. What works best for me is just a regular old agenda that's about this big. And figure out what works best for you. Try different things. But at the very least, have something. Have something to write down what you plan to accomplish for the day, what you plan to accomplish for the week, the month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. Because that gives you something to aim at. That allows you to keep score. That allows you to know if you're accomplishing God's will for you. Every night before you go to sleep, take out your list. See what you've accomplished. See what you have left to do for the next day, and then start building your to-do list for the next day. It's recurring, it's cyclical, but it's not never ending in the sense that you don't get anything from it. It is never ending in the sense that there's always more to do. There's always more to accomplish, because if you're living the life that God wants you to live, a very purposeful one, an intentional one, then the job's never finished. There's fulfillment for sure. There's joy for sure when you do something good. But there's always something else to be done. So have in mind something to accomplish by December 31st, 2022. Set a 1-year goal. Set a 6-month goal. Set a 1-month goal. Set something for you to accomplish today, and then get after it. And I'll conclude with this. Everyone is unique. Everyone has their own special set of gifts, talents, attributes, skill sets. Do not waste them. You have them for a reason. Go throughout your life putting yourself in different circumstances so that you can experience different things. You come to understand what you're good at, what you're interested in, what you're passionate about. And once you learn that, then you can get really focused on accomplishing God's will for you, accomplishing things that will bring you fulfillment and help you to have a good life. A planned life is a purposeful life, and every life has purpose. Thanks for tuning into the Modern Catholic Life podcast. I'm your host, Dallas. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And for more content like this, follow me on Instagram at Modern Catholic Life, link in the description box. And together we can share the truth, beauty, and goodness of the Catholic faith. Have a blessed day.